My name's Duddits, I do builds and stuff. Brand new catalyst, Onslaught Retrofit on the quiet of 1. We're going to be pairing it up with the Felwinter's Helm. Superb fire rate increase with the Onslaught Retrofit, and some absolutely humongous damage with the Felwinter's Helm debuff. 30% plus rapid fire, absolutely crazy. Superb damage, massive increase rate of fire. What more do you want? You got overshields, devour going on with this as well, so stay with me, I'll break it all down. We'll start off with the quiet of 1. I got the command frame 4 last night via the mission, the exotic mission. It's got a couple of interesting perks on this one, as we know already. Fanatical Lance, rapid final blows, cause targets to explode into a pool of radiolarian fluid. You can straight fire this or hip fire it. Hip firing does massive damage. Onslaught Retrofit is the new catalyst on there. Final blows with this weapon increase its rate of fire. Really good catalyst, this one. Along with the other 2 that it's already got on there, we've also got destabilizing rounds and we've got the subsistence on there. But I'm focusing on the onslaught, so this is how it works. You basically just get kills and the rate of fire will increase dramatically. It's absolutely crazy. You can do that with your normal fire mode just by aiming down sights. You can also do it by hip firing, and the numbers and the damage just goes up and up and up, because you'll also notice on that bottom left I've also got targeting autoloader on there. That ramps up to about 25% extra damage, so you get an increased fire rate, and then with targeting autoloader you're just going to get stacks and stacks. And when you surround it, it goes up to 25%, and you've also got a sustained fire on there. Continuously damaging combatants with an auto rifle grants you damage resistance up to 40% damage resistance. So just with the 2 seasonal artifact perks, we've got massive sort of damage up to 25%, loads of damage resistance up to 40%, and on top of that we've also got the Onslaught catalyst working its magic, and you can hip fire that. Look at the state of that, it's just absolutely beautiful. Just crazy fire rate with the hip fire mode, and you've got all that damage and resistance going on in the background. I just want to sort of get this out as well, without actually having to go into the build too much. This already feels pretty strong just on its own, like with nothing else going on. It just feels absolutely crazy. Just being able to demolish ads. I know this is just a normal lost sector, but as always, I've got GMs. I just use these lost sectors just to show it off, just to show the sort of loop of play, what we're going to do. Now, there's a couple of exotics that will work really nicely with this one, but the one I picked was the Felwinter's Helm, because what this does, powered melee final blows, create a burst of energy that weakens, finishes and final blows with more powerful combatants, increased the radius and the burst length of the weakening effect. So with your melee or a finisher, you're going to see that burst of void around you. That applies a 30% damage increase, a debuff to you and your teammates. 30% is just absolutely crazy. You could do it with your melee or a finisher, whichever melee you wish. It's absolutely crazy. So you can imagine you've got everything else that we've seen going on already. You've got your resistance from the targeting autoloader and the sustained fire. You've got the damage increase as well, 25%. But that's not the most of it. We've also got things this season. Expanding Abyss. This will add an extra 10% onto your weakening effects with void weapons. So we're actually getting around 40% damage increase from the Felwinter's Helm. And then void hegemony to get an overshield when you kill a void debuff target. So perfect combination. Paired with the void hegemony for the void overshields, we're going to have Feed the Void, defeating a target with an ability to activate Devour. That heals you, gives you grenade energy. On top of that, we're going to run the Lightning Surge melee. While sliding, activate your charge melee. Ability to blink forward, calling down the lightning strikes that jolt targets as you rematerialise. I like to pair this with the Arcane Needle, because this gives you 3 melees, and the actual Arcane Needle is pretty decent as well. You get the odd kill, but it leaves things finishable and it unravels. So you can leap in with your Lightning Surge, get a few ad kills that are around that major target, and then that major target is going to be 30% debuffed plus the Expanding Abyss. Get your auto rifle out and things just die. It is so good. You're going to have building up your onslaught as well, plus your targeting autoloader, so you can be really aggressive with this, with your devour and your overshields that you're getting, which we've already talked about, and it just absolutely wrecks things. It's a bit of a risk and reward. Obviously you need to finish, you need to do some melees in between small targets, near big targets, but once you do that, it's so worth it. It pays off big time because you get an absolutely huge damage increase. Now Vortex Grenade is just another one I like to pair with this one, because you've got facet of dominance. This will also add weakening. Bearing in mind, it's not exactly the same as Felwinter's 30%. The vortex grenade is 15%, but the whole point of it is just to add weakening all the time to get that increase on your quiet of 1. So you're going to have your vortex grenade, your melees and your finishers to weaken up to 30%, well 40% with your expanding abyss. So the whole build is going to be based around like sort of weakening. Obviously, and don't forget your facet of dominance does actually work with your prismatic grenade as well, which we're going to go into as we go, but just an all round weakening build. Now obviously your melee with the Felwinter's Helm or your finisher is what you want to be focusing on, and that radius is absolutely ridiculous, and it's quite good at range as well. Like I said, with that arcane needle you can play it right and pick off an enemy and get that melee kill with your arcane needle, and that radius is really good. It's really good for you and your teammates as well, don't forget. So if you got like a Titan or something like that running Consecration, you get a finisher in that area, it's going to debuff that target by 30% for them as well, and 40% when you're expanding abyss. But the thing I like about Felwinter's Helm, more than the damage actually, if I'm honest, is the amount of ad control it offers. You can literally just finish a target. They're all going to be suppressed as well, like suppressed in that area. So they all walk around dizzy, they don't know what they're doing. They're all susceptible to some massive damage, and you've literally got total ad control. And once you get the loop down, get that finisher or your melee kill, everything's weakened. Look at that. You've got that onslaught building up. You've got that 40% damage increase from the Felwinters and the expanding abyss. You've got damage resistance, overshields going on, devour, and the radius on that Felwinter's Helm with GM enemies is absolutely crazy. And once you've got your transcendence going, you've near on got infinite melees and infinite grenades. So you've got infinite weakening once you've got that transcendence going. Absolutely crazy. Infinite weakening, infinite melees for loads of time. Up to about 20 seconds I was keeping my super. Really, really good. My transcendence super, sorry. Really, really strong. You can pick any super you want to run. Song of Flame or Nova Bomb. I like Nova Bomb just to take more advantage of that void weakening. A quick look at my fragments to help you with your transcendence gains. Collecting an elemental pickup with facet of honour or destroying a tangle grants transcendent energy of the same type. You've always got tangles because of your arcane needle. Facet of balance, rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy. Rapidly defeating targets with darkness energy grants grenade energy. Because we're getting a lot of light kills with Acquire of 1 Void, that boosts our melee gains really, really good. So we're going to get loads of melee energy with facet of balance. The other one that I like to run is facet of protection. While you're surrounded, get a 25% damage reduction, which is just helps the cause with all your devouring your overshields going on. So you put plenty of resistance. And then finally, the facet of dominance, which we've featured. Your void grenades weaken targets and your arc grenades jolt. Obviously we're running vortex, that's going to weaken, but this also helps the cause with your transcendence. That will make your transcendent grenade also weaken. Now, because we're running finisher, it's based around the finisher build, we'll may as well run proximity ward, gain a powerful overshield while you're performing your finisher. This actually is a really good loop with void hegemony, because what you do is you're going to get your overshield for finishing, your Felwinters will debuff, and then your void hegemony will kick in as well. So it's just a really safe way to get your finisher going, and it's a nice little loop. Like I said, finisher, get your overshield, your debuff from your Felwinters, and that will also proc your void hegemony. So it's a really good little cycle. I found it extremely helpful. Now, other weapons to consider: primary slot, something like a breachlight with swashbuckler, cast no shadows, really good little option. For heavy, I like to run a void sword or a void machine gun, or even like a void grenade launcher to take more advantage of that void expanding abyss and the Felwinter's debuff. And then just look at that cheeky little play. You can get some increased damage on your tangles as well with the Felwinters. Not something I'd say to do all the time, it's just something I noticed you could do, that finisher. Just a cool little tip. Anyways, that is the full video. I'm going to leave a build card from my friend over on Twitter, Mr. Slayer God. That will include all my mods. With regarding my mods, if I sat and talked about my mods, I'd be adding like another 3 minutes onto the video. But all I did was just built around a melee build, so melee kickstarts and things like that. That'll all be in the build card and the dim link. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.